One. Oh, there it goes.
We had a
Hello
lag
there.
last time.
Hi, Thelma. And hi, Irene. It's good to see you guys. I'm sure we'll have some more folks here in a minute. Do you still have the black screen, Thelma? And there's Glenn. Hi, Glenn. So it's nice to be out here with you. I told Margie it feels very natural to be sitting here in my since you had the black screen come, and I just want to make sure I see you now. Okay, can you do me a favor, Margie, and move this camera?
This one?
Yeah, it's right in the middle of my, or just slide the text over a little bit. That's probably the easier. Just slide the TV.
Oh, slide the TV.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then
Okay.
there we go.
I can
Then
do
pull it
that,
back
and
where it
we'll
was.
move that back.
There we go. Hi,
There.
Deb. Hi, Sunny. It's good to see you. Deborah Loda goes by Sunny. Good to see you. All right, everybody is seeing us okay. Thank you guys for acknowledging. I appreciate that. And I'm frozen on the screen. Am I still frozen? No.
It's
I'm
not on their
okay.
side. We had the
it
same
just
issue.
timeouts over here.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, I'm here to see you guys, give you an update, and show you new products, and that's going to be fun. I think what we're going to start with, we're going to get right into it because I actually have quite a bit to go through. We're going to jump into showing you some relist. Hi, Mary R. Good to see you. Yes. Okay, let's go ahead and move the camera to my hands, and we will.
We've got a lot.
Yeah, we got to back out a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm going to really quickly go through some G45 relist. I just want you to know what's back in the system because I went through and ordered, and I could not believe how many things we were out of. How many quantities were at zero. So I went through and I made a very large Graphic 45 order, and I'm just going to quickly go through with you what's back. So we have Flight of Fancy. We have the chipboard tags and frames, which is this one.
Bring it to you so you don't have to reach.
Very, very pretty. Hello, Catherine. It's good to see you too, my friend. I love you guys. It's nice to be back with you. So we got the tags and frames, and we got the ephemera packs back in. And I'm going to hand these off to Margie. And let's see. We got back in the, this is the album. Yeah, this is the album. The Flight of Fancy album box is back. We were out of those. But it's back, Sassy Lassie. That's Glenn's name for Catherine. I love that. Of course, I love Glenn's name for Glenn, too, the cantankerous crafter. It makes me smile every time I read that, Glenn. Okay, we got the prints and solids for Flight of Fancy. We have the 12 by 12 Flight of Fancy back in. I'm not showing you these because you've seen them multiple times before, but you do know that they are absolutely gorgeous. We have the 8 by 8 Flight of Fancy. They have begun to clear the Grown with Love collection, which breaks my heart. But knowing that they're going to clear it, I've gone in and reordered. Thank you, Diane. It's nice to be with you. I've gone back in and reordered Grown with Love. Grow with Love. So we'll have this for a while. Because once they start clearing it, it tends to disappear rather quickly. So I went back in and reordered nice quantities on the Grow with Love. This one, I was surprised to see that we were out, but I know that I have ordered more than we have. Here's the 8 by 8, and I think I got the 8 by 8, I think just the stickers, and the 12 by 12 is all they had left of these now. But I went popular. Go figure.
I think for Brittany, there's probably some extras that haven't been listed
Maybe.
yet because there was a lot for her to do last week.
Yeah, there's a lot of boxes here, and there's going to be a lot of boxes coming up. I wasn't ordering real regularly for a while for obvious reasons, and Brittany was not having enough to do. She's going to think back with fondness to those days. And my boxes start showing up. But I'll tell you a little bit about that here as we go on. Marianne Bright, I still love this. I love this. Hi, Adeline. Good to see you, my friend. Well, that laugh is as genuine as they get, guys. If I tried not to do it, I'd choke. Because that's just my way.
Diane.
Oh, did I say hi to Diane? I'm not sure. Hi, Diane. Just in case I didn't. I got Margie distracted taking my things because I don't want a long reach. Hip, hip, hooray. Should be back. I ordered everything. I think just about everything in Hip, hip, hooray. I have the 8x8.
It went like wild cake.
Back.
So
Yeah.
I
this
have
is,
a feeling it's going to do it.
I'll tell you why. This is a perfect birthday set. Just an absolutely perfect birthday set for any age. Anybody my age who appreciates cuteness will love this. Oh my gosh, kids, this is just a really, really charming set. And it's cute, but it's not so cutesy that you wouldn't give it to an adult. And I think that's one reason why they just go so fast. We've gotten back in the ephemera for that. Ephemera is always the first thing to go. So I've been ordering more ephemera than I have the other packs. And oops, this was part of this one. Okay, I'm going to give you the albums next. I reordered all the albums because we were really low on albums too. We got the Ivory album in a box. We got the square tag and pocket wraparound album. I want to make something in this one. I like that size. I like the wraparound. Look,
I don't think so.
And look how deep it is. It's big. But I think this is going to, I think 6x6 is a really fun size. It's 6 1/8 by 6 1/8, which makes it just perfect to use 6x6 paper on. And you can cut 12 by 12 into 4 sheets. So this is just going to be really functional. This was in before and it's gone. So we got more. And these have been really popular. The Craft Interactive Folio album has been super popular with interchangeable pieces. Loving this. One of the things I love about this is that they send it in a deconstructed form, so you glue it in yourself. One of the problems we had with the Waterfall albums when we got them is that sometimes their gluing wasn't the best. And as you worked it and manipulated it, the pages fell out. And a lot of people complained to me about that. I ended up refunding a lot of them and all kinds of crazy things. This time they sent it completely deconstructed, so you glue it when you're ready to glue it, which is perfect.
Easier to make a page.
Yes, it's much easier to make the pages when you have the pages right in front of you outside of the book. This is a binder album with interactive pages. This one's a lot of fun because you use the interactive pages you want to use where you want to use them. Nothing is selected for you in advance, so this is a really fun one. And again, it's a nice thick book. This one's an 8. Yeah, this is 8 1/4 by 8.75, so your 8 by 8 pages would be perfect with this. Okay, I was surprised to see this had gone, but it's just in time for us to wrap around to the seasons again. This is Sunshine on My Mind. This was the watermelon kit. A lot of these were gone. So I reordered the watermelon kit, Sunshine on My Mind. It's really fun, watermelon and bicycles. What says summertime more than that? If you're making an album for somebody who's a summertime baby, what a perfect kit. Not necessarily a baby, I'm just saying anybody who was born in the summertime. Poor choice of words. The 8 by 8 we have back in. Again, that beautiful bicycle. I keep stalling on this side. So if I stop talking, it's because my screen's frozen over here, but they tell me it's
That's what Bryce told me last week when I kept wanting to pause.
yeah, you guys aren't freezing. We're freezing here for some reason, which I don't understand. But okay, if he says so, I believe him. And here's the sticker set for Sunshine on My Mind. We have Sunshine on My Mind. So it's been a long time since I've been out to see you, and I probably owe you an explanation. I've been trying to think about how to try to explain in a way that doesn't take 20 minutes to explain. I'll just give it to you, do my best here. So you guys know I started chemotherapy right before Christmas, and I had my first chemo. It was actually the week of Christmas. Then I had 2 chemos scheduled in January, one in early part of the month and one right at the end of the month. Just before my 3rd chemotherapy, Bryce and I both came down with neurovirus. We were very careful about where we went and what we did, so we kind of think maybe we picked it up off of food. We're not always, as we had not, I say had not because now I insist, we had not been as good as we should have been on rinsing our berries and stuff when they came in. And I'm thinking that's probably where we picked it up, was off of some strawberries or some other imported product that had not been washed when we ate it. So right before chemotherapy, I came down with that on Sunday, and the neurovirus on Sunday, and the symptoms lasted until Wednesday. And if you've had that, you would know that it's like having the flu, but 2 or 3 times worse, and it's exhausting. Bryce got it and got over it before I did. He was pretty much symptom free by the time that I came down with it on Sunday. But the following week, he was still just totally exhausted. So I called and said, should I come in for my doctor's appointment or not? And they said, oh yeah, come on in, just wear masks. So we did. And I asked the doctor, I said, I'm really, really tired. I don't know if we want to go ahead and do chemo today or not. And he said, well, I looked at your blood stats and your blood looks good. And I tend to think it's better to move forward and keep going than it is to stop chemotherapy anywhere along the line, because there's any number of reasons we might stop. But if we stop, it just kind of really interrupts the progression of things. So I'm thinking that if you're up to it, if you're good with it, I'm good with you going ahead and doing chemo today. And I said, well, I'm tired now, but I'd be tired after chemo anyway. So yeah, let's go ahead. So I left the doctor's office and went and did chemotherapy that day. And I was truly exhausted that night. The next day I had to go in, and I was supposed to go in and have my shot that generates white blood cells. So I had that on my agenda when I woke up. But when I woke up, my phone was alerting me that I'd been in AFib repeatedly over the course of the night in the morning. And so I was watching that. It said I wasn't in AFib right then, but I needed to keep an eye on it. But what was weird, and this never happens. Oh, here's my Grow with Love. I knew I had ordered the paper packs. Here they are. My pulse rate was like 40, 42, 43. So it was either in AFib territory up in the 150s, 160s, or it was like in the 40s, which was totally out of character for me. I've never had that before. And this is the Grow with Love paper packs. And so, and here's the Hip Hip Hooray. See, they were here. I just panicked too early. I stacked them all up instead of getting everything organized the way I wanted to. So here's the Hip Hip Hooray 12 by 12.
A lot of times we have this pattern in solid a little bit longer, but it all sold out. So it's also very interesting to see that happen so quickly. So just a heads up, guys.
And again, these are just so adorable, but they're not so cutesy that you wouldn't want to give it to an adult. They're just great. Hi, Nilleris. It's good to see you, my friend. So anyway, to make a long story short, I went and had I talked with the cardiologist's office throughout the day. Here's the rub-ons for Marion Bright. And I told the cardiologist's office, I was talking with one of their triage nurses, and I said, I'll have them take my stats in there where they have, better equipment than I have at home. So they took my statistics, and by then I was back in AFib again. It was like 161 beats per minute or something when they took it. And okay, now we're on Hunky Dory, and this is the Card Toppers Fabulous Florals. Just beautiful. I love these. This is just such a pretty collection. Now this collection is all card toppers. So you use your own background paper or background paper you've made, or those collections that we all have. I mean, I know we all have a big stack of Adorable Scorable. Get that out and use that in some of your stickers and things to create your backgrounds for these. Anyway, they took it. Cancer office wouldn't even let me walk out. They sent me out in a wheelchair. I laughed. I thought that was kind of funny because I've been walking in and out of that office more times than I care to even think about over the last few months. And all of a sudden they went in a wheelchair. So I called the cardiologist's office when I got back in the car and said, yeah, I'm back in AFib. And she said, take your, on my Apple Watch, I can, not endorsing Apple Watch, but yeah, it really is a pretty cool gadget when you're having heart problems. She said, tell me what it is on your Apple Watch right now. I took it, it was 181. Do not stop and take Teddy home. Do not collect $200. Just go straight to the hospital right now. So we did, and they checked us in, and then it was probably 30 to 45 minutes after we checked in that they did. This was the Fabulous Florals Card Topper Pack. I'll give this to you. They did a EKG. They didn't tell me the results of the EKG. They just moved on and moved us back hours or more. And finally, they took us back to a room. The hospital in their defense was packed. Oh, I've never seen it so bad. When they took us back into the emergency area, they had gurneys parked down both sides of the hallway with patients all over. Crazy that day.
It's good news if they have you sitting in the waiting room.
Yeah, they didn't consider me to be too serious. So as these things go, they tried to medicate me out of AFib, and I've never once responded to medication to bring me out of AFib. So about 2 or 3 in the morning, they ended up cardioverting me, which is where they use the paddles and they go clear and zap your heart back into rhythm. And once they do that, it's amazing once your heart gets back in sync, how fast you recover. It's amazing. I remember when you do these, you can layer on some of the butterflies that you either have left over, or we actually have some butterfly packs still left in our die cuts. These are outstanding with 3-dimensional butterflies on them.
That's a pretty set. I don't think I've seen that one anywhere else.
Isn't that gorgeous? Some of the same ones they've had in different butterfly kits. They're kind of picking and choosing from different collections. So I got cardioverted and they sent me home. One of the things that bears note is there was a hospital for a total of 11 hours, and they wouldn't let me have any water during that 11-hour time frame. And any of you who have been through chemo would also know that when you've been through chemotherapy, one of the things they want you to do is just chug as much water as you can physically stand to wash that chemo out of your system. And I didn't have any for 11 hours that day. So the next day, I called the cancer center and talked to one of their triage nurses. This is Wildflowers Deluxe Craft Pad. This is one Margie teased you with last week. I saw her. She had this one and the ocean one. She showed them to you.
Time.
She showed them to you, then she took them away.
I did. I ran out of time.
So the
Bryce
next
has
day,
me on a strict schedule of 1 hour.
the next day I had to call the cancer center and say, I'm really, really constipated. I don't want to talk too much about that, but it was just terribly, terribly, terribly uncomfortable. And she said, well, it's no wonder if you didn't drink any water yesterday, you got to double up today, my friend. And she gave me a recipe that she wanted me to take a handful of pills in the morning and a handful of pills at night and drink like 4 liters of water during the day. And she said, if it's not better tomorrow, you remember that this has both the foiled toppers. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. I needed to show you that anyway. It has the beautiful foiled toppers in it. And then it also has the coordinating toppers, which are the ones without foiling. But these are beautiful. And you also get inserts. Let's see if I can turn it the right direction. Out of practice, guys. Beautiful insert papers too. So with these craft pads, you kind of get, it's like getting one full set out of a luxury set instead of 2. And then instead of 3 sets of toppers or inserts, you get 1 set of inserts. So you get 1 set of inserts, 1 set of the topper, 3-piece topper sets. So I complied with everything she said, and as the day went on, it just got worse and worse and worse. I thought, should I call her back? And I thought, no, she told me to call her on Friday if everything wasn't okay. So she already told me what to do tomorrow. So I went to bed. And the next day I got up and I was really feeling miserable. But I did exactly what she said. Again, look at this. You guys know I'm going to love this one, right? This is the Nautical. What is it called? Nautical Moments Deluxe Craft Pad. Absolutely love this. I guarantee you I'm going to have one of these. The lighthouse sail ship, the ship in a bottle, message in a bottle. Oh, so pretty, pretty, pretty sailboats. And a little cruiser out here. The seashells. Anyway, as the day went on Thursday, I just felt worse and worse and worse. But I attributed it to the fact that things still had not happened for me. And so I did what she said, and I took all the pills I was supposed to take, and I drank lots and lots of water. And it was about 2 or 2:30 in the morning when I thought, I woke up from a sound sleep and said, I have to go to the bathroom right now. I mean, right now. Do not pass go. Right now. So I stood up next to my bed, and for the first time in my life, my feet did not hold me up. I slid right down the side of the bed. I didn't hurt myself because I did slide down the side of the bed, but I slid right down the side of the bed because I couldn't stand up on my own. I didn't have enough gas in the tank to stand up. And so Bryce was sleeping in the other room, as he often does after I had chemo, because I don't want Teddy licking me and getting all that chemotherapy chemicals in his system. So Teddy and Bryce sleep in the other room from the week of chemotherapy. But beautiful. This is on Matt-tastic, guys, which means you can stamp on this and things too. And here's once again, we have our insert papers. So just like getting 1 full set of 4 toppers with the 2 matching cardstocks and 1 full set of inserts with 1 each of 8 designs. Just beautiful, rich gold foiling on this. Love it. So I called out to Bryce, and Bryce came in, and he looked, and he said, I can't get you up. And I said, I know, Bryce. Not only could he not get me up anyway, because I just too heavy. He'd thrown his back out that week too, so it was even less likely we could work together to come up with something. So I told him, I have to say, I did laugh about this. I said, I can't believe I'm doing it, but I want you to call the fire department, tell them I've fallen and I can't get up. Sorry, that's not at all funny. It's not at all funny to be in that position, but I did realize what I was saying to the fire department, and I laughed. So here are double-sided papers. These are another really good one for background papers for, if you're buying those topper sets. So
And
we
the decoupage papers too.
yes. Oh yeah, the decoupage images would be great on these. This one's called Textile Fabrics and Fibers. Beautiful. Anyway, fire department came. These big burly guys helped me up into a chair. And just as they did, I doubled over. And I'll say again, because I've been doing that most of the afternoon, doubled over for my stomach. And the fireman said, I'm not a doctor, but that's not constipation. And you need to let us transport you because you got something really serious going on here. And I looked at Bryce and said, what do you think? And he said, if they tell you got to go, Debbie, you got to go. Okay. The camouflage pattern. He's so narrow-minded, my husband. So off went to the hospital. A beautiful thing is when you're transported by an ambulance, you don't have to wait. They take you straight to emergency, which was nice. I didn't have to sit in the waiting room. And then the doctor came in, checked me out, and said, yeah, I'm going to send you down for a CAT scan because you got something going on there. He ran a CAT scan, and they decided that I had air in my abdomen, which would only happen if I had a perforation in my colon. So that wasn't fun to have happen. And they took a bunch of tests. They drew tons. I couldn't believe how much blood they took. More and more and more blood. They took lots and lots of blood. And I didn't know it at the time. And I'm kind of glad they didn't tell me at the time, but I was in sepsis. And so I know just enough to know that's dangerous and scary. And so the surgeon came in and talked to me. The on-call surgeon has an office right there in the hospital. So here's our oldies but goodies cards. These are beautiful. This piece punches out. You have a matching background that goes inside your card. And then you have 3D images of these oldies but goodies characters to
Like
go on
the
top.
Delightful Birds, right?
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah, it's the same kit as Delightful Birds, but with the oldies but goodies characters. I love these guys. I used to wonder if they were disrespectful. Then I got to be one of them, and I said, no, it's not disrespectful at all. It's funny. I love that one. Grandpa and Grandma sitting on the bench. Anyway, the surgeon said, yeah, we're going to do this big operation. You're going to have a 6 to 8 inch incision. We're going to clear everything out and clean you all up. And she said it's a really major surgery. She went through all the details of what was going to be involved. And I said, do we have any options to this? And she said, yes, you have an option. You can have the surgery or you will die. That's your choice. There's always choices. You can have the surgery or you'll die. And I turned to Bryce and said, honey, we're having surgery. So we had the surgery. Later, the surgeon told me that she went in looking for a pinprick because they're usually just a really small bowel perforation when you get them, but the hole in my bowel was as big as your finger, the end of your finger, which is actually a really big one. I neglected to say that before I went in, I had texted Margie, and by now it's morning. I had texted Margie and said, Margie, I'm at the hospital and they're going to do emergency surgery. And she wanted to know immediately, what can I do? And I said, it's pretty scary. You can pray. And she said, I'm on it. And I said, you can have everybody you know pray. And she said, I'm on it. And so I know that shortly after, you were all notified that I was there and that I was going to be undergoing surgery, and were asked to pray. And I sit here today. Now, there's only 3 of these. Does it say there's 3 on the packaging? Wait a minute. Oh, there's 2 per page. That's what it is. Okay, so there's 6 of them. This actually has a bend in it.
I see some in the pink too. We may have to double check our.
Yeah, we'll just double check these. Right, these right here, I think we're okay to sell them as long as it doesn't influence the images. And these are okay, but we wouldn't want to check them and make sure they're good before they go out. And I'm sitting here today talking to you all as a testament to the fact that prayer works. Because between the sepsis, which I later learned that if you develop sepsis and they catch it immediately, you got a 10% chance of dying. And for every hour thereafter, your chances of dying go up by 5%. I had been in misery all day that day, and it took all night to get the diagnosis and the surgeon lined up and that kind of thing. I don't even like to think about what the chances were that I would not walk away from this. And I want to thank you guys, because I'm here because you responded to the call. Margie called her mom, and her mom called her prayer group. Margie called you, and I think Thelma called everybody. I just want to say thanks, guys. I like my life, and I'm glad to still have it. And I'm very, very grateful for your prayers and thoughts, because it made a difference. I'm still with you. This has 2 different images on it. Look at that. The little bear cub in kind of a natural setting. And then we've got the dressed up bear at the top, the teddy bear. So cute. So I had one more thing that happened. As we went through that, I should have known it was pretty serious. I didn't know anywhere near how serious it was. And that's good. I don't think you want somebody to be as scared as I would have been had I known how serious it was. But I should have known, because the surgeon herself was in 2 or 3 times a day, and her surgical team was in another time or 2 a day. When you see that much of the people who operated on you, it's not a sign that they're 100% confident about what's happening. And they were taking blood like every hour. It was crazy. Look at the kitties. Look at the kitties. The kitten up a tree. So cute. So we, yeah. And the doctor was in one day, and I said, I got to ask you a question. She said, sure, Debbie, anything. And I said, I heard the nurses talking. I don't know if they weren't talking to me. They were just talking about how dark my urine is. He said, should I be worried about that? And she responded with, not yet. And as we all know, that can be a sign of kidney failure, which was another. But things came through it, once again, everything cleared up, and I was okay again. Now, this is the Garden Treasures. I think you've seen this before, but I want to make sure that you know that we have we did not, what we got before was the topper sets. That's what it was. We got the topper sets before, but we now have the luxury kits. We have the luxury kits, and we have the inserts for these now. So they didn't send these in our initial order, but we do have them now. And they're so, so cute. Look at that. Mount. So cute. We have all kinds of critters in our garden. How cute a badger. So cute. I agree with you. Thelma is the glue that keeps us all together. So anyway, yeah, I did not die of kidney failure. I did not die of sepsis, and I survived the surgery. Not only did I survive the surgery, it was major, big surgery, guys. And I healed in like 2/3 the time that the surgeon expected me to heal. So that was amazing. So again, prayer, amazing. So that was a good thing. Margie started, did you look at this last week? This is the Painted Petals 8x8 pack.
Let me zoom on this, 'cause this
We
is-
will pray about that, Mary R. It changes things. It does. Fronts and backs of the pages, aren't these beautiful? Oh my gosh. So, yes, I healed up way sooner. After a month after I was out, I came down with a strange fever and chills. It was weird. I had the chills before I had the fever. I couldn't get warm no matter what. Bryce had like 5 heavy blankets on me, and I was still chattering to where my teeth were clacking together. And the next morning I had a fever and was confused, very confused. I tried to do payroll. I looked at it for like 30 minutes and then called Bryce and said, you're going to need to do this for me, honey, because I can't do it. And he looked and said, Debbie, you're not even in the payroll program. So I was very confused. And so my home health person was here and she said, why don't you go to the hospital? I said, you do not want to go to the hospital and sit there in the waiting room for 6 hours. And she said, then go to urgent care, knowing full well that urgent care would send me to the hospital after having had sepsis. She's a clever lady. And finally she said, how about if I call your doctor? Let me call your doctor and let's see what your doctor says. She called the doctor, talked to the doctor's office, and they said, absolutely take her to the hospital. So I ended up being in for another 3 days. That's when isn't that beautiful, Catherine? Oh, it's so pretty. That's when I had written to Margie and my cousin and a few other people and said, I thought I had a plan put together to get out, but Bryce wouldn't help me. And Margie said, I won't help you with a hospital break either, but if you're ever in jail and you need to be broken out, I'm here for you. Nice to have friends.
with boundaries.
With boundaries, yes. My friend has boundaries. So anyway, that's now been, when was that? I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago. And I recovered from my second hospital stay. They kept me there for 3 days trying to make sure it wasn't sepsis coming back. It just ended up being some kind of a weird little bug, but they kept me there for a long time.
And some good antibiotics.
With tons of antibiotics. And now I am up and I'm better. I first came home from the hospital. I couldn't get myself out of a chair. It took 2 people to use lifting belt to lift me out of a chair. Now I get up and walk around on my own. I no longer am required to use a cane, although I bring one when I come out here because I sit for a while. And once I sit for a while, I get stiff and then I need a little extra assistance. But I'm up and around, feeling really good. The incision is completely closed and doesn't even have to be bandaged anymore. And I've been released by home health wound care. I've been released by my physical therapist, and I've been released by occupational therapy. I had somebody coming 5 days a week. And this one that I just showed you was called New Moments. It's beautiful. And
These are all going to be pretty.
the so I am completely on the rebound. So the next thing was we needed to go and see the surgeon to see what the surgeon had to say. And she's going to do surgery, but she says, based on how bad you were, I'm not going to rush into that. We're going to give you some anti-estrogen pills and some other cancer-fighting drugs. We're going to wait 2 months before they do surgery because they felt like it was just too risky to go back in until I had fully recharged batteries. So I'm taking my pills and I'm waiting for the time to come when I can go get this cancer out and be on the downhill slide. I guess it's a downhill slide. I just mean of no dancing on ice this weekend. I'll really try. This was called Brighter Days. I love hydrangeas. To me, it's a brighter day anytime I see one. And so I'm doing really, really well. I feel strong. I feel like I'm getting healthy. I still get tired easily. So probably won't make it to class tonight after being out for this, but I'm going to go in and do a newsletter anyway, because I want you to have a newsletter with links to all these products we talked about last week and all the products we talked about this week. Can you guys see the foiling on there? Look at that silver foiling outlining those petals. So I will do a newsletter tonight, but I probably will not be up for class. It's wisteria. Let's go this way. Isn't that beautiful? Gorgeous,
And a
gorgeous.
reminder, last week we had the adorable Scorable, the Miri, and a few other items
I will link
with this pattern.
I will link to the entire collection so you guys can find everything that goes together. So I'm doing really well. And once again, I just want to thank you. And I want to stop right here, right now, and thank Margie, because Margie has been such a trooper. She has covered my classes. She has made videos, so you guys didn't have to watch video after video after video of my replays. She has done such an amazing job of taking care of me out here so that I could just rest and recuperate. And I want you guys to know how much I love her for that. And I love her anyway, but I love her for that. And that I'm very, very grateful for her friendship and her assistance. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Yes, Glenn. I've seen all those videos, and Margie is totally fantastic. So thank you, my
You're
friend.
welcome.
Takes a special love to take on all that. Yes, ma'am. So are you, Thelma. And Mary, yeah, Mary has helped cover quilling classes and things too, and Friday nights, and I'm just so grateful. This is the luxury set of painted petals. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You get two each of those topper sets we just looked at. You get one sheet of toppers plus one sheet of coordinating cardstock and one sheet of foiled cardstock for each design. Just beautiful. And I'm not going to open these because we just saw all of the we just saw all of the individual packs, but we have one insert that matches each one of the cardstocks. And that means that there's 24 total sheets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's eight designs and 3 of each sheet in this, which is beautiful for those of us who make more cards than the kit thinks it will make.
I think they're recognizing that we can get a lot more out of it.
Yeah, they should be recognizing that by now. We've been saying it for long enough. Okay. Okay.
I did show that last week.
Oh, you did? White cardstock. I also want to thank you guys. I will bring them. I will. I just haven't yet, but somewhere in this craft room, I have a whole stack of cards that I've been sent for birthdays, get well cards, and I will bring them and show you guys all the beautiful cards. Look at this parchment paper, guys. All you need is white cardstock. Even one of the DL cards just with the white showing around the edges. And you could do 3 panels out of this one sheet. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And look how rich and beautiful. This is what it looks like without, and this is what it looks like over the white. The other color that's just stunning to put these against is silver or gold. I'd say silver with this collection because it's cool colors. But you can put these against silver Maryboard and they're also just stunning. It makes them jump off the paper. So pretty. And you get 1, 2, 3 of those, 4. 4 of those 3 panel cards. We were talking a little bit ago about the things you can use behind your toppers. Those toppers that come in without anything, or the decoupage that comes in without a background. These would just be stunning. And you get 1, 2, 3 of those. Look at this background, marble kind of texture, so pretty. Oh my gosh. You get 3 of those. Here's some panel cards that are done 4 to a page. Just beautiful. So this, we all know that means that's an A6 card. A6. Or you can always put these on a 5x7 and let more borders show, which is also good. And you get 4 of these on each page.
8x8 with this, and you'd have just about anything that you'd want.
Yeah. So you can make a ton of cards out of this set. Out of this one set of parchment paper. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I will be out here on Saturday, and I will be here to do your class. It might be a shorter class. I don't know how much stamina I have yet, but I will be out here. I think what I'm going to do is use, I think what I want to do and what I want to prepare for, Margie, is I want to use gilding polish, and I want to use the twist and pop cards, and I want to use, there's some, what are they called? There's some, the little pocket cards. Little pocket cards in a steampunk design.
Yes.
I want those and the little Maryboards that go with those. And I'm probably going to need something, and maybe just a topper set or something that coordinates with that for a cover for the card.
Okay.
And we could probably get like one of the Animal Antics or one of the Animal Arcadia, I guess it was called, or one of those that I can decorate the outside cover. So that's where we are. That's what I have for you today. We will be back on Saturday. If you haven't already done so, would you please leave a thumbs up? It makes me feel good, but it also lets YouTube know that they should feel comfortable in recommending our videos. So 24 people on. Let's see if we can get 24 thumbs up. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Oh, 23. And when we finish here, hit your refresh button, and it will bring you into a screen that will allow you to be able to tell me what your favorite product was today. So let's see my bottle, my smart water with Mio in it. Yeah, when we're finished, go ahead and hit that refresh button and tell me what your favorite product was. So when's the welcome back sale? Soon, Glenn. It takes a lot of work to put stuff on sale, but I will tell you, for those of you who are interested in looking over there, I have a very, very good sale running on Etsy right now. So I've got products over on Etsy that are anywhere from 15 to 50% off, and there's like 3,000 of them on sale. So if you want a sale in the meantime, run out to Etsy. And not that I love Etsy more than I love you guys in my own store. It's just that it's so much faster and easier to put it on sale at Etsy. I have old software, but it does what we need to do eventually. All right. I think that's going to be it for tonight. If you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. I don't usually talk about physical stuff for the whole time, I promise you that. But yeah, since this is the first time I've been here in 2025, I thought I'd better tell people what I've been up to. So once again, thank you all. Love you, appreciate you, and we will see you on Saturday. For tonight, good night, Gracie.